What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new Madden 22 realistic rebuild. Today with the Carolina Panthers. I wanted to get a Panthers video very soon after deciding to switch from Carolina to the Eagles for our main channel franchise. Haven't looked back in that series, but I did want to, for the Panther fans who are like, oh man, no Panthers. I wanted to give you guys at least a realistic rebuild. And what better time than now to pick them up after a defeat to the New York Giants. But the Eagles franchise absolutely crushing it, fellas. I cannot... It's borderline speechless, the amount, we've been getting the likes for whatever it is worth. And I'm literally, people say, oh, get the likes, help the video in the YouTube algorithm. It's helping. I'm getting more exposure than I have pretty much at any other point in this Madden cycle. So, hate to be the guy that panders for likes, but it is so much helping my channel. So, thank you guys for always smashing those like goals. I would love to hit, I always want to say 1,500, but I'd say if we can get at least 1,000. If we can get 4 digits. I would be very, very grateful on every video from here on out. So I'll always just give you that little bit of reminder. If you want to help this channel, all I ask in return, little click there, and hopefully you enjoy the video and it's an earned thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? So that out of the way, let's take a quick snapshot here of the Carolina Panthers. What are we inheriting? So we're inheriting a loss to the Giants. We're inheriting a game where Sam Darnold got benched. We're inheriting their just pretty brutal injury report. It's not... We're getting McCaffrey back soon, which is good. Game or two. Troy Pye, he's a guy that maybe we could develop on the back end. First round pick, J.C. Horn, currently out. Might get him back before the season ends. They just got a bad roll of the dice in terms of the injuries. It is what it is, and I'm excited because I still like this roster. There's a reason why, at the beginning of this whole process, when I was looking at all the teams I could have picked, that I like the Panthers, because I like their roster. I like the way they've drafted. I like Matt Rule as the coach. I like Joe Brady as the OC. Looking on offense here, so we have no McCaffrey. Got the Canadian Trooper. However, Trooper's been solid as someone that has picked him up in both fantasy leagues and watched the Panthers because I like to support the Canadians. Pretty bad O-line. I don't think Trooper's had a couple good games here and there, but ultimately it takes someone that's as elite as Chrisitan McCaffrey to kind of work and operate behind this offensive line. A guy that's just a solid back, young back like Chuba Hubbard that needs to develop a little bit. Gonna struggle a little bit. We got Darnold and PJ Walker at quarterback. Darnold just got benched. Here's something that I'm I don't know. I don't know if this is the same sentiment for Panther fans. I'll say right now, obviously, it's a very good draft class for quarterbacks. If we want to pull the trigger on a quarterback, we can. But I think when you look at someone like Sam Darnold, right? This Panthers offense is designed to work around Chrisitan McCaffrey. And how many quarterbacks in the NFL, unless you're an S-tier quarterback, not someone like Sam Darnold that the Panthers got at a low cost, to try to hopefully let Joe Brady develop him into, something serviceable, something good, something that was a former first-round pick out of USC. But, if you're missing the guy that makes everything work on offense, you're going to struggle. And I think that there's no multi-million-dollar contract that was handed out to Darnold, so you don't have that. It wasn't like you spent the first-round pick on Sam Darnold. You don't really have that. There's no real reason to force the issue with Sam Darnold, so that if Darnold is just good when Chrisitan McCaffrey's in there, which has been the case when McCaffrey's been out, they've been awful when he's been in. Darnold was on fire to start the year. That's acceptable. That's okay, right? It's if Sam Darnold's only good when your best player's in there, most quarterbacks are as well. So I feel like even though benched against the Giants, stuff like that, I feel like it's only fair to judge Sam Darnold at this point in his career when McCaffrey's in the lineup. If he's not in the lineup, I don't think there's really any quarterback that would be available realistically that'd be able to operate behind a bad offensive line with a rookie tight end. And really, wide receivers should be better. I'm really surprised that Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, from the connection they have with the Jets, isn't really going on this year. But looking forward for the team. Anderson's solid. DJ Moore's going to be a big-time player for us. 86 superstar. He's an absolute beast when he can get open. You have Moton on the O-line. You got Tommy Tremble. Has a scan now, of the picture, the little portrait, I believe is what they called. Used him in the pink slips. Didn't have one, but he was an absolute beast for us. Developed into a superstar X factor, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. But as the kind of closing thoughts here, just on the big picture of the offense, we'll give Darnold a chance, but there's no real risk reward we don't have to commit to him. It's not like we have so much money we can't move on from him, or you want to still justify that early first round pick. It is what it is. If he's good, he's good. If he's not, we're going to move on. Defensively, I love what they're building on defense. They got Gross Matos, Derek Brown, and Brian Burns on the defensive line. Yes, sir. Sign me up. Traded for Stephon Gilmore. Sure. Especially if you can re-sign him. Dante Jackson, solid. You traded for C.J. Henderson. Gator buys. I love that move. You got veteran and A.J. Boyd. I think how we're going to handle this, though, for a rebuild, we're probably going to bump Henderson up just because Boye's pretty much at his ceiling. He's only going to regress from here on out. Hassan Riddick was good money. Shaq Thompson solid. Jeremy Chin was outstanding as a rookie. Going to continue to find ways just to let him work. Absolutely put in work. It's a good roster. It's a fun roster. And as soon as we get Chrisitan McCaffrey, I think the good times are going to get rolling. But before we take a deeper dive into this roster and get into this rebuild, got to give a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, Bounty Sports. Before we get into things, we got to give a big shout out to Bounty Sports for sponsoring today's video. Bounty Sports offers the most user-friendly betting site I think I've ever used. On Bounty Sports, players pick winning teams while competing against other fans for cash prizes. The entry fees range from as low as $1 and all the way up to $50 for the high rollers, with prize pools getting as large as up to $1,000. I think overall, what's attracted me to Bounty Sports is the low risk entering to potentially big payouts. And with weekly NFL contests, you know over here, we're gonna try and secure the bag. Signing up for Bounty Sports is very easy. I've used sites before, very difficult. You gotta jump through hoops just to get in and get on the action. Not here with Bounty Sports. And then make sure right down there in the referral code, use my code BOUNTY4. Let's take a look at this week's NFL games and get in on the action. This week on Bounty Sports, we're going in for the 1K NFL Week 8 Pick'em. Need to hit on all these picks, man. I'm on a little bit of a cold streak here. So we have the Bengals and the Jets. Give me the Bengals. Obviously, just way too much going on, especially with Joe Flacco's QB for the Jets. I want the Rams. We have the Niners and the Bears. I think the Bears could potentially upset, but they got Jimmy G back there. You need to pick some upsets. I'm going to say give me the Bears. We have the Titans, Colts. I'll take the Titans. Panthers, Falcons. Give me the Panthers. Dolphins, Bills. Bills, Lions, Eagles. Honestly, I think the Eagles are I don't like betting against my team, but give me the Lions here. Steelers, Browns. I will take Pittsburgh in an upset here. Jacksonville, Seattle. Give me, this could actually be another. Is Russ back? Give me actually the Jags if Russ isn't back. We have the Patriots and Chargers. Give me the Chargers, even though I think that game will be close. Give me the Bucks over the Saints. Give me the football team over the Broncos. And give me unfortunately, the Cowboys over the Minnesota Vikings. That is a winning bet bracket right there. If you sign up using the link in the description with the code BOUNTY4, you'll get a free $5 credit to start winning today, and there's no strings attached. No minimum deposits, no payment info, just $5 to test the site out for yourself, and it doesn't get any more risk-free than that. Pick some winning teams this week, try and compete against me, and win some big prizes on Bounty Sports. A little bit deeper dive into the roster. Don't need to hold you up too much. We saw the starters and stuff like that, but in terms of contracts, so again, just quarterback, there's no investment at that quarterback spot. If we have to move on from one, it's not going to be much of an issue. Rest of the offense, there's not really any bad contracts, to be honest with you. In terms of skill position players, Robbie Anderson got a 3-year deal. A little worried about maybe how that will age. 28, 29, 30, 31. Is what it is. He's a nice deep threat. Hopefully he can find some sort of, chemistry with Sam Darnold once again. But I think Marshall has a high ceiling. I like Shi Smith, had a huge Senior Bowl. But DJ Moore needs to come in, develop into a superstar wide receiver. I think for the tight end spot, we have Tommy Tremble, hidden dev rookie, 70 with the hidden dev. So, just picturing in my head, kind of placing the lineup where we're going to be at year 3, year 4, and year 5. He's going to be the tight end of the future here. We're going to try to develop him into something special. The O-line is where bad contracts come in. Like Cam Irving, that's a brutal deal. Elf line, again, kind of a brutal deal, to be honest with you. At center, you paired a solid center, kind of expensive as well. It's one of those things, when you see linemen, and you're going through, all right, we got a 68 tackle, 70 guard, 63 guard, and, whatever. You're hoping that those are all guys on rookie deals, not players that have penalties of, let's see, we got $3 million there. We got $5.5 million penalty, $7.5 million penalty. It's not great investments on the offensive line. We are going to have to rebuild this offensive line. That is paramount. Almost as important as figuring out that quarterback spot is the O-line here in Carolina. So we need to be aggressive in the open market potentially. Got to solve those issues. Defensively, Brian Burns, he's got to get paid sooner or later. We're probably going to go Gross Matos, just a couple years younger than Morgan Fox. D-tackle, Derek Brown. The Band-Aid, kind of a stopgap here, Daquan Jones. I think I'm probably going to give Davion Nixon the reps just so we can get that XP. And that was an outstanding selection of Iowa. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Last year, Riddick was outstanding value. I would argue for all the negatives they have in terms of contracts in the offensive line, they have more than enough favorable deals on the defensive side that kind of balances out at least. Gilmore's going to need himself a new contract. Boye, really, surplus requirement at this point. I think Gilmore, Dante Jackson, CJ. with J.C. Horn, you know, we have a lot of corners here. Like, can one of these guys move to safety? Like, we can move Jeremy Chin to linebacker or strong safety. And, like, do any of these corners, like, who's the best tackling? I'm not going to move Gilmore there. Like, do we have any, like, legit tackling corner? Well, Gilmore is 67. Ugh. Pretty sure Keith Taylor's actually been good as well. Like, PFF darling. Jeez, I mean, I don't know. At this point, I mean, you can, Horn's super aggressive, but you want him to be a corner. Like, we might have to get creative here and move one of these guys to safety. Just maximize them, view them as defensive backs. And I'm not going to disrespect Stephon. I mean, even then, though, you look so like Stephon Gilmore. Usually, like, you pull Malcolm Jenkins. Once you get up there in age, athletically, you might not have it still to play on the outside. Move you to safety. A little less, you know, man coverage right in someone's face, but you can still utilize everything else that made you a lockdown corner. So, I mean, a lot of interesting decisions we can make here on the back end. They're just not good tacklers. Like, you need at least, like, I feel like, you know, put J.C. Horn, 53 tackles, kind of low for him. I mean, Henderson, 50. He doesn't like tackling. I can tell you right now as a Gator fan. He got 47 for Dante Jackson. This is, I mean, maybe we do have to end up moving Gilmore to, like, free safety or something. I don't know. But we'll figure that out. That's a good problem to have. And then you have Jeremy Chin back here. Again, versatile player. Can play any of the safety spots. We could just, you know, for the sake of our roster, if we decide to move, we can move in middle linebacker. I guarantee his rating is better than a 70. Moving to middle linebacker, I'd be shocked if he goes below, like right now, what is he? An 80? 80 star? If he moved to linebacker, I'd be shocked if he's anything less than like 76, 77, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I think that's something now that we got to figure out. Figure out the offensive line, figure out the quarterback, and then manipulate to give us the best secondary possible. Hopefully at the end of year one, we get McCaffrey back, go on a little bit of run, and we can kind of solve those issues piece by piece. So without further ado, let's get into year one of the Carolina Panthers realistic rebuild. So we were able to get a bounce-back victory against the Atlanta Falcons, 35-13, which is nice. So let's take a look at all the housekeeping. We're roughly at the midseason point right now. Anyways, looking at the draft, when I thought of doing the Carolina Panthers, like what players interested me in a Panthers rebuild. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really do want to grab one of these top quarterbacks. Between Matt Corral, who's probably going to be off the board, but I think, you know, someone like Malik Willis, we've already used him in a rebuild, so I'd kind of like, you know, sidestep, juke move out of Malik Willis. Someone like Sam Howell, North Carolina, going to Carolina. I think Howell's still a legitimate first-round QB. He's just not first overall like some of us thought preseason. You have Carson Strong, who I still think is like a fringe first-round quarterback at this point. Spencer Rattler, no one really knows what's going on. Let's be honest, he's probably going to transfer. I do need to upgrade these draft classes. But if you had a Joe Brady, in real life, if you had a Joe Brady, you probably want to take a gamble there on Spencer Rattler. I think Kenny Pickett's interesting. Desmond Ridder is better than third, fourth round projected. Another guy that when I update the classes, he's going to get a big bump. A lot of hype right now. Him as a potential first rounder. I still have him kind of fringe at best. But I think, you know, if depending on how the board falls, something like Sam Howell, something like Carson Strong, maybe we side that direction versus sticking with Sam Darnold for another year. Offensive line, major help. We could be in position to get Evan Neal, who's a bona fide top 5 player in the draft, depending on the needs of the teams ahead of us. If Evan Neal is there, that could just be too much to pass up on to go with a quarterback or go somewhere else on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, really, it's just O-line. And you know, Sawyer there. We got Linderbaum at center. He's a beast. Kenyon Green, Aquano, all those guys, legitimate first-round players, even at guard. We don't necessarily consider guards. Ryan there from UCLA. A lot of people think he would project as a guard. NPF from Ohio State, first round. So there's good linemen here for sure. And you kind of think about the defense, where I would argue defensively, like it's not too bad. We almost have surplus requirement at a bunch of these spots on the defensive side of the ball. So I do think this is going to be heavily focused on the offensive side of the ball in the draft. And I would say right now, Howell, Carson Strong, Evan Neal, and then I would argue one of these two between Kenyon Green and Aquano. Those would be my big board, my targets right now that I hope, and I'm kind of planning in my head this realistic rebuild around, that we can land at least one of those guys. So we are at the midway point of the year, which is always when I like to start talking about contracts. So let's take a look. We got 13 players. One of them is getting ready to face a revenge game. I think why not, right? At this point, let's give Stephon Gilmore 30, I mean, even 3 years if he'll take that. That's a massive contract. He wants more money, but he's still really good. I was surprised to see the Patriots move on from him, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, I mean, it is a Patriot move to be like, they understand price points for players, and they're very aggressive to stay to those price points. But Gilmore is so good. He's not really regressing too much. He's still like him regressing is still top 5 corner in the NFL. So I definitely will give him a little bit more salary. Look at the rest here. I like to start at the bottom, just making sure there's no one that I for sure want to keep around on the roster. On the bottom side, Kenny Robinson, XFL, first XFL player drafted to the NFL. That was pretty cool. I mean, this is where it comes down to how to figure out the secondary. We'll give Reddick. I like Reddick, 5-year deal. That is so much money. Like, I don't think there's any way, shape, or form Hassan Reddick is getting $90 million. Let's go with Dante Jackson first. That's a lot more. That's an easier pill to swallow. So there we go. We got Dante Jackson. $90 million for Hassan Reddick. What is he at this year, stat-wise? I need to, not next-gen stats. I need to see. I'm going to have to wait. What we got? 9 sacks? He's 9 sacks this year? Really? No way. Let me double check that. If he has 9 sacks this year, maybe I will give him that money. Even from real life, he's never going to get that. But if you're going to be getting 9 sacks for only like halfway through the season, if you're going to be that reliable, he does. The argument is $90 million there. You're going to have to give it, Brian Burns needs to get paid, right? And at a certain point in time, if you tell me, okay, you can either have Brian Burns or Hassan Reddick, you got to pick one of the two. I'm picking Brian Burns every day of the week, but why not? Is there a way we can find out to have both? I mean, we're going to have a potentially rookie quarterback. Our quarterback is not costing us a lot. We'll give him, that's stupid money, though. He wants more. I don't know if we can do this. I think we'll give Gilmore more money. This is tough. This is a realistic rebuild. This is not a sign everybody rebuild. $90 million for Hassan Reddick. I think because we started this live, I think this is what we're going to do. I'm going to re-sign Gilmore next week, give him a bump up in the salary. But because we started this live, we're inheriting the stats and production that Hassan Reddick has in real life right now. So that's 9 sacks. We're at 9 sacks. I'm not going to wait till the last negotiation window in the offseason because you only get one shot there. But maybe week 16, week 17. Let's see if Reddick's, how much more sacks. Is he consistently getting a sack a game? That's what the pace he's setting right now. If so, we're going to have to give him that money and try to make it work elsewhere. But if he's not playing as good in Madden as he does in real life, there's no way I can justify $92 million for a guy that's not even a superstar guy yet. And lastly, we have a breakout player this matchup. Who is it? Chuba Hubbard. Man, that'd be cool. I mean, he's not going to do anything behind Chrisitan McCaffrey, unfortunately. And I say that as a Canadian that I'm not forcing that issue. But that'd be pretty cool. And really his last game starting, because we're getting McCaffrey back next week, for him to go up a dev trade. We beat the... Hey, that's a nice win. And Chuba goes up dev trade. Let's go. Sure, why not? 1-2 punch. Chuba Hubbard. Canadian dream. Get the win. Where's McCaffrey? Is he back? Is he not back yet? He's not ready? Should be back this week, right? 0. Come on back to the lineup, please, Christian. We don't really need you. We're on a 2-game win streak. Again, because the Panthers are absolutely overpowered here in the sim. But let's go back here, week 10. Gilmore, let's get him locked down first and foremost. So I'm going to give him something like 10.5. He wanted more in the salary. There we go. We got Gilmore locked in for a 3-year deal. Wait and see with Hassan Reddick. And let's go, man. Let's get McCaffrey back in the lineup. Keep this winning ways. Close out this year. Maybe go on a playoff run. We're here at week 18, and the biggest question, I mean, we're 7-9. We definitely finished up this season better with Chrisitan McCaffrey in the lineup. But the big question is still Hassan Reddick. $91 million. He had 9 sacks when we started this. So in real life, I mean, if he has 9 sacks, does he? I'd be shocked if that's the actual number, but I wouldn't be surprised because he's been a beast. But closing out the year, he's got 2 more sacks. Is 16 TFLs, 11 sacks. That's actually a really good stat line. I just don't know. I mean, Brian Burns is the guy to get paid at some point in this rebuild. Derek Brown's got to get paid at some point in this rebuild. Our corners, JC want to be a little bit later. Jeremy Chinn's going to need to get paid. Henderson, if we want to keep him, is going to have to get paid. DJ Moore's going to have to get paid. I don't know. This is a tough one. My gut says don't re-sign him, but then I also maybe I can make it work. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can, it's just, can I have $90 million? Can I have almost $200 million salary cap and edge rushers on my roster? Is that sustainable? Have I given him a contract yet? The length is good enough. I'll give him one more offer. I'll bump that up to 7.5. There we go. If he doesn't take this, we're letting him go. If he does take this, we're going to have to figure out a way to make it work. Nope. Can't do it. Can't, that's all I need to see. If he was going to take that, I didn't even feel good giving him that contract. No. So at the end of the season, we got absolutely blown out by the Bucs in the final weeks, 37-0, which gives us so much confidence in Sam Darnold going forward. Trayvon Diggs finished with 13 interceptions. Okay. Not happening, but okay. Looking at our stats in the building. Sam Darnold, 4,200 yards. It's not really the Joe Brady effect you were hoping for Sam Darnold. It's also not brutal by any means, right? It's not. McCaffrey missed pretty much the whole season, averaged 87 yards a game. Pretty good. One thing I'm wondering, do I have to make, and this is something that like people who probably play with the Panthers a lot in real life, do I have to make him the slot wide receiver for him to have like really good receiving numbers, or does it just happen because of the playbook? I mean, we'll make that adjustment. I mean, if I have to put McCaffrey in the slot for him to get like respectable numbers, I guess we'll have to. I don't even know. I don't know how that's gonna work. I hope it works out well. Defensively, Shaq Thompson, 96 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 2 TFLs, 2 interceptions like that. 11.5 for Riddick. Best of luck. Brian Burns is our guy going forward. 8.5 sacks. I think, he can step up. Definitely can step up. Derek Brown, 5 sacks. That's good for him. And in the secondary, not for the name values you have. I mean, Horn was hurt and stuff, but for the name values, Dante Jackson, Henderson, Stephon Gilmore, probably like to see a little bit more in terms of turnovers on the back end there. Yearly awards, MVP went to Thomas Brady, as he goes by. Offensive Player of the Year, Brady. Diggs got Defensive Player of the Year, Fields, Parsons, Tom Brady, Zeke. And I don't think we're going to see any Carolina Panthers today. It was just a bad year, a mulligan of a year, lots of injuries. But we're going to be able to rebound from that. We have a healthy McCaffrey. Hopefully we can find our quarterback. Hopefully we can build up this offensive line a little bit, especially with the money that we're saving on that Hassan Riddick contract. And we can be dangerous in year number 2. Not sure if we're going to get any depth traits. What is cool, look at the team ranks. We did have the number 2 passing defense. So that's, again, at least we're getting some return on investment of our expensive-ish secondary. And the Chiefs knocked off football team in the Super Bowl. Benardrick McKinney, who got traded from the Texans to the Dolphins and then just got released, got himself a Super Bowl MVP. Congrats to him. Looking at our own squad, any dev trade upgrades, I don't think off the top of my head that there's be any. We hit the one with Chuba Hubbard in season. Tommy Tremble comes out as a star dev. He was a hidden dev rookie. And on the defensive side of the ball, of course, Hassan Riddick went up dev trait. So did Shaq Thompson. So we hit on both. Oh my God, man. I feel like we have to. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's no way we should get rid of Hassan Riddick. Like letting that walk. He's 26, just went up dev trait. Maybe we'll come back to him, one more bid, up it just a little bit. Get that for sure that he doesn't want to be here. Like there's an easier way to justify not really landing him. Is like, he didn't want to be here. We gave him 3 new contracts. Every one of them he turned down. Looking at our team, currently mocking at Kenyon Green, the guard from A&M. I would absolutely draft him if he is still available, given the needs of our offense. Even though quarterback is kind of a pressing need. But that's right now. I didn't think the year 1 story for me in this rebuild would be Hassan Riddick. Contract went down like $20 million. Fair offer, $73 million over 4 years. That is a lot more reasonable. I'm going to come down to that number. 74 million bucks. So we'll go 9.5, and you know what? I'll give him a little bit more. Something like that. He's looking for 73. I think we should just give him like 75. There we go. 5 years, 75.5. That is way more reasonable. Fuck you, buddy. Dr. Hassan Riddick gave us the middle finger. Got to kind of map out our free agency period. So I got Will Hernandez on the offensive line. Figure it's just one less spot we have to worry about. Even with Kenyon Green being a very legitimate target, we need 2 guards, so it's neither here nor there. We have Chris Barnes, a middle linebacker from the Packers. Has the dev traits, only 24. I think we want to up this offer just a little bit, considering we only have like 2 linebackers on the roster. Should be top. Yeah, I'm confident. And then we look at the rest. I think it's not something I want to do. I think we should throw an offer here at Armstead. There is a big contract to potentially be had here. Dolphins are there. Anytime you see the Dolphins, you know it's probably an overbid. It is. We have no chance of getting Terran Armstead. So, might be a little bit of a down year in terms of offensive linemen. Like Connor Williams is there. Maybe move him to tackle. He was a tackle at Texas. Could he be a right tackle for us here in this rebuild? I mean, I've been burned by him in the past because even in Madden 21, he was consistently like the top kind of young lineman that might be okay. But when you need so many pieces on the offensive line, you might have to just gamble that you can put it all together here. Connor Williams was a legit tackle coming out of college, out of the University of Texas. Pump that up just a little bit, see if we can get a little more ground on the second place bid from the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we did. But I'm not doing anything crazy here. I mean, even with that, still don't have an insane amount of money. But getting 2 linemen, one of them, like I said, my plan would be to move Connor Williams probably to tackle. Or we could kind of flex that based on how the draft goes. If we can get a tackle in the draft, we'll keep him at guard. Or if we can only get a guard in the draft, we can flex him at the tackle. But Barnes, Williams, and Will Hernandez, come on, give me all 3. All right, so for our private workouts, feel like it's kind of, these are our 3 targets. They've kind of been our 3 targets since the beginning. So we're going to look at Kenyon Green in the offensive line. Again, if we can bring him, draft him, kick out Connor Williams from one of the tackle spots. And then we're looking at the 2 QBs that are, legitimate. They're not getting first, second round grades. We got Carson Strong from Nevada and Sam Howell from North Carolina. All right, it's time to make our selection at pick 9. Jordan Davis. Very talented defensive tackle from Georgia. Just went to the Eagles. Very, very Philadelphia Eagles selection there. Let's see what it looks like. What does our board look like? Do we have our pick of quarterback? Sam Howell still available. Top 5 projection. Again, we brought him in for a private workout, and we still only have 40% on his. They got to fix the scouting. Kyle Hamilton, that's actually insane value. We don't need a defensive back. Kenyon Green's still there to go on the offensive line. I just know Kenyon Green's probably the better player. First round talent. We have him 100% scouted. It looks good. Combine looks good. But it's just like, can we win with Darnold? I feel like Carson Strong's still there too. What is his stats? What do we got here? B mid, B short. That's it. Don't have a lot. It's one of those. I think the argument can be made against the quarterback because we just don't have enough information. Sam Howell, nothing. But we did just get 2 guards. My head says Howell. My gut says Kenyon Green. I mean, win and doubt, let's go with the quarterback. Let's go with the quarterback. I don't know if he has a dev trade. Normal dev for Sam Howell will be very rough. He does have a heavy hidden dev. Okay. Maybe dogging on the speed a little bit, too. He's got a couple 100-yard rushing games for North Carolina. 90 throw power. All right. This is going to be the Sam Howell Carolina Panthers rebuild. Let's go. Actually, this might have, I'd almost argue if he went one of the other guys and Kenny Pickett was still here, if I knew Kenny Pickett was going to be in 3rd round, we didn't have a 2nd round pick, would have actually probably preferred that, but it is what it is. We here, and we got full ALA. Pretty much Jordan Mailata 2.0 from Minnesota. Might have a dev tree. Does. Let's go. Double dev, full ALA, 6'9", 380 pounds, incredibly high ceiling. Let's go. Draft recap time. Hitting on Sam Howell, 70. We got the dev trade. Not happy to be here. 3 hit here, wanted to get out of Carolina. But that is our quarterback going forward. We got Falele, lucky to hit on the dev trade there, but given the fact that he's an incredible, he's also like a 45-year-old man. But he has one of the high, he's a Mailata. Someone's gonna draft him thinking he's a new Mailata. Insanely high ceiling, but mold of clay. You got to develop into something right now. 69 power. Okay, work with that. We got Brenton Cox, edge rusher from Florida, 68 normal dev, not a bad pick. We got Grant Gibson from NC State, 67 normal dev, could potentially be our starter at center actually as a rookie. We got one of Matt Rule's Baylor dudes, Jalen Petrie at strong safety, he's 65 with a normal dev, and then we finish out with a fullback, Alexander Horvath from Purdue, 68 normal dev. But again, keeping this streak alive, getting 2 hidden dev trade players, regardless of if it's my class or generated classes. That's usually the pace we love to hit. We hit it here in year 1. And now let's get the Sam Howell Carolina Panthers rebuild underway. So the decision to make here before we even get into training camp is figuring out this secondary. So what I'm going to do is Boye right now, there's $2 million. We get rid of him. Not really worried about the depth there too much. So we're going to keep Gilmore. I'm going to go Dante Jackson in the slot. So our outside corner is going to be Gilmore and J.C. Horn with Dante Jackson as our slot corner. I moved C.J. Henderson to free safety. This is, I'm going to be honest, siding a little bit more on the side of Madden. I don't know if you'd ever be able to make this transition in real life, but he did go up +3 tackling last season. He was 50, I think 47 or something terrible like that, up to a 50. He's good athlete, good cover guy, just don't need him to tackle a lot, and hopefully, you know, you can complement that. Jerry Chin loves to tackle. So yeah, between Chin and CJ Henderson, a complementary safety duo that just puts our best DBs on the field when we need to. And hey, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point our run defense looks really bad because of, you know, having Henderson back there, but hopefully it continues to have us as the number 2 ranked passing defense, which we were to close out year number 1. I think this is the easiest and best way to maximize our secondary. Hopefully it works out this year. Our scouts, now that we get control over our scouts because we inherited whatever the Panthers were doing because we started in week 7 or 8. I want to get a defensive end. I'm looking at Brian Orakpo, former Texas Longhorn, Washington football team member. I want DNs. I feel like DNs is a specialty, and we also need a tier 3 scout, where this one's a little bit tougher in terms of like where we need to get better. Again, we can go on the offensive line. I feel like our safeties are good. We're good at QB. We're good at running back. Maybe wide receiver, Johnny Rose. I would say right now it's between wide receiver, Johnny Rose, or we look here with Derek Johnson, another great linebacker, Longhorn, at middle linebacker. Let's go wide receiver for the time being, just because we got DJ Moore and there's still a lot of what ifs between Robbie Anderson and can the kid from LSU develop. Don't know yet. So let's get the third, you know, tier 3 wide receiver scout help us out there a little bit. As we start year 2 for the Carolina Panthers, we have a brand new draft class, a brand new squad. Let's go with the squad first. Changes, a lot of changes on the offensive line, but given how bad our O-line was last year, it's not surprising. We're going to give Falele the opportunity at left tackle, Connor Williams, Will Hernandez, 2 free agency signings, will start at guard. Grant Gibson will start at center. Moton is the only guy that retains their former starting spot. We're going to go right away with Howell as our quarterback. Why not at this point? Darnold, if he looks bad, you can always go back to Darnold for a little bit, but I just feel like right now, feed him to the Wolves, let him get that development, let him get that early XP. Want to see, at least from this wide receiver, I would love to see Terrace Marshall kind of break out. We're going to have him be our slot wide receiver for the beginning. And then if McCaffrey just isn't getting receptions, we probably just have to move McCaffrey to slot so we keep some sense of realism here in this rebuild. Looking at the defense, happy with it. You know, I think the front 4 is going to come along here. Definitely want to make sure Brian Burns can pick up that production that we lost with Hassan Reddick. Linebacker core, bringing in Chris Barnes from free agency is good. Compliments Shaq Thompson. Need to see Brenton Cox, but also, you know, it's not going to all fall on Brian Burns. Cox is a pass rusher. Would love to see him kind of chip away a little bit at the projection that Riddick was making. Moving Henderson to safety, hopefully doesn't bite us in the ass, but just trying to have the best players on the defensive backs playing and on the field at the same time. Not 100% set in stone that we need to have Henderson sit there. Like if he has the most tackles, missed tackles in the league or something like that, could move on from him or at least move him out of that spot. We tried J.C. Horn there. We could try, you know, I don't really want to move Gilmore there, but we could as well. But I think this will work. I think we're going to have a very, very competent defense. Hopefully the number 2 or at least top 5 passing defense yet again. And a full season of Chrisitan McCaffrey can carry this offense with a rookie quarterback to the playoffs. I'd bet on that. And quickly look at the draft here for year 2, at least in terms of players that we need to be keeping our eye on. So we know where we're not particularly strong. I think wide receiver could be a position that we want to try to improve. Boutte from LSU, Marvin Mims, Oklahoma, Washington from Penn State, Raheem Jarrett. We have from Ohio State receiver there, Jackson Smith-Jigba. Sure. Jalen McMillan from Washington, Hazelwood from Oklahoma, Copeland from Florida. All those guys are legitimate studs. I think that's a position that low-key we might need to kind of pay attention on. Offensive line, still, I mean, you know, if one of these guys doesn't develop, especially on the interior, it's actually not a particularly strong interior offensive line. Dalcour from Alabama at center. You know, he could be solid. He could be a guy that, you know, maybe if Gibson doesn't develop really nicely as a rookie, we could look at bringing in. Defensively, you know, still linebacker, edge rusher, pass rusher type guy. Drew Sanders could be that at Alabama. We can look, I mean, we're probably not going to suck enough to get Will Anderson, but B.J. Ojulari from LSU, J.J. Weaver from Kentucky, that kind of fits that role that we'd be looking for on the defensive side. Or if Henderson doesn't work out at safety, we can look at Ransom from Ohio State, Helens from Alabama, really at strong safety, Conley from North Carolina, getting Sam Howell's team. He's outstanding. go with a little bit more hometown bias. Plus, at 6'4", 210, could get creative, much like Chin, and just have 2 safety linebacker hybrid type guys on the defense. But it's a solid draft class, and I would say out of all the positions, if I had to prioritize one, I think we might be looking for a splash playmaker at wide receiver. So right about the midway point of year number 2, we're stopping here because I'm going to hop in on the sticks for this game. I want to get a game in during Sam Howell's rookie season just to get a sense of how he feels. And looking at how competitive the NFC South is right now, this is a very, very big-time game against the former Super Bowl champion and just God squad in Madden, the Tampa Bay Bucs. Feel it's a good, let's see where we're at type of game. So we are at the midway point, though. Let's look at some of the contracts for players that need to get paid. This is why. This is why I did not pay Hassan Riddick, because I knew it was gonna be 3 digits. It was gonna be 3. There's no way it was gonna be 99 something. It was gonna be 100 million plus for Brian Burns. We got him locked up. I think DJ Moore also, because pretty much just back up that Brinkstruck 4-year deal. We'll keep him here for the remainder of the rebuild. Wants a little bit more money at this point. What are we doing here? We're gonna pay him here. Luckily, we save a little bit of money. Don't have to pay Sam Darnold, which definitely helps. With the rest of the players, I don't think anyone else is really getting a contract. So we actually will be signing 2 of our biggest players on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and we still will be carrying in decent amount of salary cap into the offseason and maybe make a splash or 2 there. So we'll definitely come back to the table for DJ Moore. What's a little bit more? I'm probably saying we get him for sure under 70, probably 60, 67, 68 million bucks, and I have no problem paying him that because I do think he is just going to continue to ascend up to a superstar wide receiver. So want to get on the sticks here. Bucks, very tough defense to make your little bit of a gameplay debut with, but I think Howell can be special. We have McCaffrey to help him out too, so it's not all going to fall on his shoulders to get a big-time divisional victory here against the Bucks in Week 10. The audio was all messed up, so I ended up just scrapping the gameplay. I realized way too late. Wasn't a good game. I mean, Howell had 3 touchdowns. I had 1 pick. There was 2 fumbles on 4th and goal. Like, I went 4th and goal with McCaffrey, fumbled it. Later in the game, another 4th and goal, fumbled it with McCaffrey. Was it all in all just very negative gameplay, which people don't like. So it's probably for best that we'll just keep on keeping on here this season. And we kind of shit the bed here in year 2. I like the fact that our pass defense still remained elite with the shuffling around with Henderson. That looked good. And you got to remember, we had a rookie quarterback. 7-10 with a rookie quarterback is not the worst thing in the world, especially because we were lacking playmakers outside of really 2 guys, McCaffrey and DJ Moore. Yeah, Tremble to a degree, but like Anderson, we probably didn't get much. I mean, let's look at the stats. Still saying right now, we're going to target a wide receiver in the draft. And with that overall record, we're probably going to have a fairly good pick to invest at that wide receiver spot. But let's see, the QB here. Sam Howell, better in his rookie year than we have Darnold last year. 4,100 yards, 31 touchdowns, too many interceptions, 18 picks. Need to shave off at least 5 of that going into next year. Running the ball 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns for McCaffrey, and I'll be honest, I'm going to be very frustrated if he doesn't have any receiving numbers. He does. I mean, hey, I'll take that. Madden got that right this year. Almost 700 yards for him out the backfield. Tremble, someone will round that up generously. 7-7 for Tremble, 7-5 for Marshall, 8-9 for Robbie Anderson, 1,000 yards for DJ Moore. Yeah. I think we need another playmaker here at wide receiver for sure. Defensively, Shaq Thompson, tackle machine. Also 4 interceptions. I like seeing that. Chris Barnes, we brought in free agency. Tackle machine as well. Definitely integrated himself nicely on the defense. 11.5 sacks, 20 TFLs for Brian Burns. So picking up where Hassan Riddick left off. Just don't have that other guy. Gross Matos, more of a run defender at this point in his career. Derek Brown, more of a run defender at this point in his career. I think you could also make the argument we need another edge rusher. Edge rusher or wide receiver. In the secondary, 5 picks. Jeremy Chin, love seeing that. Gilmore with 2. Dante Jackson there. No interceptions for CJ Henderson or JC Horn. Less than ideal. Definitely less than ideal. Quick look at the yearly award winners. MVP went to Alvin Kamara. Wow, McCaffrey doesn't even make it. He is 2,000 yards from scrimmage. Okay. For the rest of the awards, hey, Sam Howell is your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Great start to his career there for sure. Rest of the awards, I don't think we'll have anybody. We do not, but we have the Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is great. Maybe that goes down the line in terms of helping him out with his dev trait, which we did have 2 hidden dev players. I did not have any dev trait scenarios during that year. I feel like they kind of toned those back a little bit. But Howell came out as a star dev there. Filet left tackle, rookie left tackle. That's another thing, man. Rookie left tackles, not a super high success rate historically, even with, not necessarily left tackle, but Wirfs has been good. And you know, Sewell, and you got the dude from Northwestern right there for the Chargers. He's doing well. So, you know what? I'll take 2 star dev players. At the end of season recap, it was a Saints-Titans Super Bowl with the Saints. Jameis Winston getting his ring there. Michael Thomas MVP. You know, MVP of the league was also on the Saints, so they're a juggernaut. Awesome that they're in the division. Makes me happy. Look at our squad. Well, we had Sam Howell get Offensive Rookie of the Year, which is good. No dev trade increase. I'm going to make an argument that I think MVP, Offensive Rookie, Defensive Rookie should always be a dev trade increase, especially for a game that has a mechanic for dev trait regression. If it is a one-year wonder, it will kind of write itself out in the end. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about that. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Like, what should you get for winning awards? I feel like because there's so many positional awards, that shouldn't be automatic dev trait. But I feel like rookies, like every year, like you tell me right now in Madden, just from a Madden roster standpoint, if, you know, who's the best? Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is star. We'll say he's star dev. He might be superstar. We'll say he's superstar. If he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, like they're probably going to bump him up to an X Factor next year in base Madden, just because the hype surrounding him. I feel like that should kind of be the same. But we have no dev traits gained on offense. Both of our hidden dev rookies had start, but ooh. Derek Brown from star to superstar, Brian Burns from star to X Factor, and Shaq Thompson from superstar to X Factor. I will take those wins on the defensive side of the ball. At least we're getting better somewhere. And ultimately, dev trade or not, very happy with Sam Howell's first year here. Very happy that he's our quarterback going forward and not, unfortunately, you know, Sammy. So for free agency, gotta be aggressive. Looking at bringing in just 2 star dev special teamers, Tyler Bass at kicker, Gillian at punter, and we need an edge rusher. I need someone. Brenton Cox didn't really fill that void from Hassan Riddick. So I'm looking at Montez Sweat. No one else has bids on him, which is kind of weird. He's a scheme fit. I have the scheme fit upgrade in my coaching tree that scheme fits are more interested in signing with your team. And I gave him a better offer than what he was looking for just in case there's another bid. We might not get him on day one, but someone like Montez Sweat, very affordable contract as well. Putting him back there, that's great. And that just makes it that much easier just to go for the best wide receiver in the draft. And we got all of our targets. Our special teams has been set, and we're going to kick Montez Sweat to outside linebacker. For our final private player workouts, I'm looking at 2 wide receivers, Marvin Mims, Parker Washington. I think we're just going to be out of the range to get Boutte from LSU. He's probably going top 5. We don't have that kind of pick. And I'm looking at Gervin Dexter at D-tackle. Maybe we can find the long-term pairing to finish out this rebuild next to Derek Brown in the middle of that defense. 5th and final mock draft currently has the Carolina Panthers going D-end. Absolutely not. If there's a way that we can get like Boutte or Brian Breezy, I would do it. But I think Marvin Mims, 5'10", 185, that might be the guy. Usually I like to, because we have a high pick, I kind of want to see just how the board falls here. So first overall, DJU goes. That's surprising, but again, if he bounces back, I don't think he's going over Bryce Young. Philadelphia, pick 3, get Will Anderson, edge rusher. At least he's not in the division. Darnell Washington goes to the Chargers, get a big-time tight end. Cardinals, grab Bresee. Raiders at 6, grab Boutte. That means, yeah, we're pretty much stuck. Knew all along I probably wasn't going to be able to get Boutte. We are going to grab Marvin Mims, wide receiver from Oklahoma. You know, great playmaker, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, hidden dev. That's what we need. Don't know how he fell here. Dexter's still available. Gotta take him. Just gotta do it. So as far as the draft goes, I was literally got 2 guys that I was considering in the first round, in the first and second round. Guess the benefit of having 2 top 10 picks. We got Marvin Mims, 75, hidden dev, deep threat, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 88 catching with all the boosts. Outstanding pick there. We got Gervin Dexter from Florida, beast of a D-tackle, 6'6", 305. Yeah, absolutely type of project guy that can beat D-tackle 2 long-term in her scheme. Got Jane Daniels as a backup quarterback out of Arizona State. Braxton Jones, depth on the offensive line. Bertrand, the middle linebacker from Notre Dame, depth at linebacker. And then Habakkuk Baldonado, just because I like the name. So the Carolina Panthers, as we go into year 3, I literally, like, I was just preparing this part, looking at it without recording. I was like, this team looks sick. Like, this is awesome. All the line has come together. I mean, still, you could argue the interior could be better. Could be the weakness, but I'm happy. Falele, Williams, Gibson, Hernandez, Moton. We got Tremble, who's coming along nicely at tight end. And then you got Howell going into year 2, coming off an offensive rookie of the year campaign. Great 1-2 punch in McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard. DJ Moore as a superstar. We have the veteran in Anderson, and we get the exciting playmaker from college, Marvin Mims, right away with that hidden dev trait. Then you flip to the defense. That's where it gets spooky. Everyone on the front four has a dev. Matos star, Derek Brown superstar, Dexter, who knows, Burns up to an X factor. Linebacker, we throw in Montez Sweat there as a pass rusher. Barnes and Thompson, just, you know, there's no weakness. Chin and Henderson at safety. Gilmore, J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson at corner. This is a squad I want no less than 10 wins. Our juggernaut team is actually playing like a juggernaut. We just got a massive victory week 7 of the Saints, 44-38, 6-1, sitting atop the NFC South. It's just awesome. Genuinely awesome when you like have a rebuild with a team that is insane. You feel it's insane, and you actually get that result in the sim. Very happy where we're at right now. Week 8, contract time. This is where like I'm expecting, because we have all these fun players, that there's going to be difficult decisions to come up in terms of contracts. So let's start with the most. So Derek Brown is the most important out of all these guys. So, and that's actually a really, really reasonable contract. So we'll get him locked up. I think Jeremy Chin also, can't let him go. 5-year deal, a little bit more expensive, but no sweat off my back. I feel like Robbie Anderson can be replaced. Feel like you definitely want Shaq Thompson. He's an X factor. Let's get him for the remaining 2 years of this rebuild. Get him extended. He's happy to keep playing here. I feel like Henderson at safety at this point, just why not continue to develop in there? Very affordable contract. Not worried about anything there. Gross Matos also, I mean, hasn't been amazing for us. Gets us TFL. Strong run defender. Give him a 4-year deal to lessen the cap hit just a little bit. But I also feel like this is a spot that we could get an upgrade. We can just go absolutely ham and bring in another defensive end that may be better at rushing the passer. But I mean, how much more do you need? He kind of makes it so Brian Burns and Montez Sweat can do their thing, because he's going to be the guy that plays the run. So we'll see if he takes this offer. If he was going to bend us over, I might have decided just to go elsewhere. But I feel like we're not going to re-sign everybody. We're just going to re-sign most everybody. And with the selection of Marvin Mims, kind of frees up those funds that we, would pay a veteran, aging Robbie Anderson and be able to spend that money elsewhere this coming off season. We went 15. I cannot get the buy. I was like, literally, we didn't get the fucking buy, was my exact words. 15-2. And then you had the Cowboys 16-1. I cannot get first round buys. And like, it's just, like, we're going to lose. We're going to be one and done. I want to have faith in this team. That's outstanding. 15-2. And it should be. This team if this team existed in real life, they might go undefeated. Look at some of the numbers around the league. Yeah, some big time numbers. Not much on our build. I see Carson Strong being the second leading passer. We picked Howell over him. Good to know. Looking at our team. Howell, top 5 in tutties. 35 touchdowns, 7 baller. Baller. Dev trade or not. Being a superstar, X factor. He's playing well. He could be a bronze. He could be normal dev for all I care. You play like this, we can keep working with that. McCaffrey was amazing. 1-2 punch with him and Chuba. Just dominant. 24 rushing touchdowns total between the two. More over 1,000 yards. Mims for a rookie. Double-digit touchdowns. Probably offensive rookie there back-to-back years. Robbie Anderson solid. McCaffrey dominant. Would like to see maybe more production from Tommy Tremble, but only so many mouths to feed here on the offense. Defensively, Shaq Thompson, tackle machine 3. Look at the interceptions, dude. We got 11 sacks for Brian Burns, 9.5 for Montez Sweat, 7.5 Derek Brown. Again, paying Matos. It wasn't a bad contract either. Like, it wasn't like he was paying him big money. But the interceptions outstanding. 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2. Let's go. All of our playmakers making plays. Number 1 offense in the NFL. If we're one and done. I mean, you guys are seeing this. I don't need to explain how frustrating it will be if we don't go on a legit run. Howell, number 8 in the MVP race. McCaffrey, number 5 in the MVP race. Look at the actual award winners here. Wow, Mims. I mean, quarterback award for sure. 2nd place behind Bryce Young there. Howell is the best quarterback, so he should be in line for a dev trait this year, fellas, hopefully. Just don't be one and done. I'm going to be so mad. This team, like, I'm going to be honest. If we can make it to at least the NFC Championship game, anything after that, I'll be like, okay, it's a young squad. But anything less than that, that's pretty frustrating. Let's go, baby. Home field advantage. Got Russ in town. But we're 15-2. The number 1 offense and a defense you cannot throw on. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? This needs to be a dominant performance. Playoff jitters, sure. Maybe a slow start to the game like we have right now, 13-7, sure. But second half, the cream will always rise to the top. And we got... Come on. Come on. Oh, there's the turnover that we're looking for. Oh, there's a double. There's punishing with the tutty. Look at that. Only 7 points against Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks. Now it's garbage time, whatever. Take our foot off the throats just for a second because we don't pull our starters. We need to be healthy. 35-21. Very happy. Howell, 4 touchdowns. 100 yards from McCaffrey. We might win the Super Bowl this year. I hope we do. Hope we're playing with house money for the remainder of this rebuild. Second round, we got the Niners, so we're just running through the NFC West. They're not a bad team. It's a snow game. They don't like to run the ball. But you know who likes to run the ball? The team with the best running back in Madden, which is the Carolina Panthers. So it's very slow start here. Again, another home game, so you'd figure we have the momentum meter and stuff like that, but defense doesn't feel like making any plays for us here today. Wow. Okay. This is why you need the first round bye, because you use up all your magic in the first game. This is why we've stopped playing the moments in year 5, because the play of the moment still makes 15-2. Number 1 offense. Top 5 defense. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing? How does this pass quality control? Someone explain how this passes quality control. How does it pass quality control? Literally, if you're like, hey, let's just make sure the sim and all this stuff kind of plays out nice. I'm gonna make a juggernaut squad, and let's make sure they win more often than not. And if they actually did that, they'd find out it doesn't work, and then there needs to be some adjustments. And I finish off year 3 with a 45-24 defeat, and I just ask everybody, how does this pass quality control? Look at my team. Oh my God, it's like the whose line is it anyways? Welcome to the Madden Super Sim, where everything's made up and the overall points don't matter, man. Unbelievable. And the one team that finished ahead of us, Dallas, they run to the playoffs. Like, why is it only the user good teams that suffer? The computer good teams just continue to be good teams. It's I mean, it's how the rebuilds are. Just make it to year 5 and we can just play all the games and have fun with our team. Because this team's going to remain intact, and I absolutely am looking forward to year 5. I hope. I'm not going to say I hope. But if we don't win a Super Bowl next year in year 4, I do hope that comes year 5 Super Bowl bust. So I actually have to hop in and try to win with this team because looks like just a super fun team to play with. Looking at our squad. Any dev traits before we get into the first Madden generated offseason? On the offensive side of the ball, Sam Howell has gone up a dev trait to a superstar. He's been amazing. I think out of all the quarterbacks, the one I wasn't sure about was getting Howell here, and he has been everything we needed him to be, maybe even more so. Flipping on the defense, we have Dexter had hidden dev. He came out as a star. CJ Henderson went up to a superstar dev. Again, this team just... I might have to squeeze it into the title of the video. This might be my favorite team already that I've built for a rebuild, and we're only just going into year 4. For this free agent period, our team's so stacked at this point, I think there's going to be more benefit to just not spending for the sake of spending so we can re-sign our own players. I was thinking about Henry Ruggs. I think that'd be a great upgrade over Robbie Anderson, but the bid that the Patriots put on is simply ridiculous. So I think it's just another year that we can just prioritize our first early round picks on hitting on a wide receiver to come in and be that third option behind DJ Moore and Marvin Mims. Other than that, our team is stacked, fellas. I don't need to be spending money. So we're taking a look at the wide receivers here. I'm going to leave the clock on, put the pressure. These are the only guys we have available. Didn't get a whole lot of great information, so we kind of have to just go off of what we know for playmakers in terms of the pro days and combine stuff. You want 40 broad and 3 cone. Faulkner, not the best, kind of a slipper there. So we have Lance Knight, Devin Cooper, at least in terms of first round fringe guys. Devin Cooper here from Arkansas, trying to be the next, Treylon Burks. Not bad. First in the 3 cone. Broad jump's pretty good. 40's not too bad. What do we got here for the last wide receiver? Lance Knight from Clemson, 6'4", 216. That's gigantic. Deep route running is only a D, but he ran a 4.40, 4.34 his pro day. Top 5, really, and this has got to be the guy. All the combine looks good. Height, weight, speed, I'll buy it. I'll buy in on it. He's going to be our third option. No dev trait, but being 6'4", 215, 92 acceleration, 92 agility, 93 speed, 90 jumping. I think we can work with that, dev trait or not. So a quick look at our draft recap. Lance Knight currently sitting as a 78 overall. We saw the physicals, band. Scheme fit. We'll take that. I did not hit on any dev trait players in this draft. Not a bad draft class by any means. especially with the lack of information. Got Gabe Griffin, the running back out of Penn State, just in case we can't re-sign Chuba Hubbard. He's a 74 there, has some pretty good speed. Maybe not Canadian, which kind of goes against it. But I'm happy with Knight. He's going to be able to carve out a role in our offense. And we got solid depth along the line to close out the draft. And here's our team for year, just disgusting. Year 4, new superstar dev. I mean, we have Knight. I mean, I'm going to give him the reps over Marshall. But even then, both those guys are solid. O-line just getting better. Gibson's developing nicely for once being the weak link. He's developing into a really nice center. Defensively, it's, best defense in the league. Not even close. You got 15 wins last year. I mean, there's no regression. We didn't get worse in any area, so we should be expecting 12, 13 wins minimum this year, and hopefully a first-round bye, so we don't use up all our luck and don't crash out of the playoffs too early. So we come out of our bye week 7-2, sit atop the NFC South. Saints are pretty good though, 6-3. They did beat us earlier in the season. Breakout player, which we'll sim this week just to see if he can hit it. Yetur Gross-Matos, defensive end, pass rusher. Trying to get up to a superstar dev. Very attainable. Rushing guards, you can get it from a team effort. You can get it from an individual standpoint. Contracts, year 4, this is the most important. This is players we do not want to hit the open market. So let's take a little peek here. Thank God we are playing on a rookie quarterback salary, which allows us to really do pretty much anything we want to do in terms of signing players. So we got Tommy Tremble at tight end. Like keeping him here. Make sure he stays here. Connor Williams at guard. We're probably not going to find a better guard. I think the argument can be made that we're not going to find better linemen really at any spots. I will not re-sign Will Hernandez, just because if he is the best guy there, we probably can re-sign him fairly easy. Horn at corner, actually kind of been a little disappointing for a first-round pick. In terms of production, hasn't really led the team in interceptions. Chuba, I love Chuba. Big fan. Just, we'll save a little bit of money here because we were able to draft a pretty talented running back in this year's draft. So hopefully we can get Chuba a Super Bowl ring this season. Barnes has been very productive for us at middle linebacker, so we'll get him a new contract. And last but not least, obviously, with Gilmore, the big trade, we're going to get him for 1 year, keep him for the remainder of this rebuild. We still have an absurd amount of money. I could sign everybody if I wanted to, but I just want to, in a realistic scenario, if this was our salary cap, we could probably pick and choose whoever we want in the upcoming offseason because we're going to get those guys that clearly want to win a Super Bowl. We can pay them. It's going to be a Tampa Bay Bucs scenario, and I want to give us as much money as possible because I'm already preparing myself for a very frustrating finish to this season. And we had a dominant performance. Gross-Matos up to a superstar dev. Our defense just got even scarier. And to close out year 4, 12-5 are the Panthers, which is kind of the floor that I want to hit this year. Another NFC South title, which I'm happy with. Overall, we finished as the, behind Dallas, 2nd seed. No bye for us again. Okay. Stats, big picture. I mean, some pretty big numbers there. Nick Chubb, big numbers. 25 sacks. TJ Watt, big numbers. Jeremy Chin, 6 interceptions. I love seeing that. Looking at our actual performances, how did we get this down here for Howell? I am noticing, man, year 4, it's always historically been the weird year in 5-year rebuilds. I don't know why. I'm thinking that's the case here. I feel like anytime I have a decent quarterback, year 4 is always the year they suck for some reason. That's not sucking. That's just not really an impressive year for Howell. A regression from where he was at last season. McCaffrey was dominant. 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns. No 1,000-yard receiver. Marvin Mims was our leading receiver. 907, 8-5 for more. 7-6 McCaffrey out the backfield. That's a weird year, man. I mean, our defense was killing it. Barnes over 100 tackles. We got 15.5 sacks, Brian Burns. 15 Gross-Matos, who got himself the superstar dev. 10 for Montez Sweat. 8.5 plus 25 TFLs for Derek Brown. Terrifying. 6 picks for Jeremy Chin. Near the top of the league. It's just a dominant football team. There's no other way to put it. Dominant football team, passing offense. A little disappointing. Nick Chubb was the MVP. McCaffrey coming in at number 3. Gotta love seeing Colin Kaepernick there. Love it. Absolutely love it. McCaffrey's the offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year went to Aaron Donald. Then for the rest of the individual awards, oh man, you love seeing that. Good for him. Proud, stunning, and brave. Colin Kaepernick there. McCaffrey at running back. Let's go. Jeremy Chin, DB. He's sitting on that star dev. He can go up superstar. Let's go, Jeremy Chin. What a beast. Should have been a Philadelphia Eagle. But, got to run the gauntlet here again. Year 4. Starting in the wild card. Can't buy a first round bye. And now we got to take on the 9-8 Giants, which I'm sure Saquon Barkley's not going to have a day. What's my team stats? Can I see that? So defense, okay, so we have the number 6 rushing offense, the number 4 defense, number 4 rush defense. Don't embarrass me. Let's go. Sam Howell time. Let's stop Saquon Barkley. Let's let our defense play like the... Yeah, it's just, you know, whatever. Let's not overreact. Still a lot of football to be played. Get a touchdown here. Okay, or just don't. Get a field goal. Let them get a safety. Can we get a touchdown here? There we go. Okay, it's still... I mean, they're not putting us away. They've had their chances to put us away. They're kind of letting us hang in there. And I love saying that. They're kind of letting us hang in there. We're the best team in the NFL. And I don't even think it's particularly close. So bad. I mean, Saquon didn't take the game over. That makes it even worse. Year 5. I'm making a change here right now. Right now for the future rebuilds as well. Because I think it's something with the Super Sim. Every year that's not year 5, I'm just going to like sim it in the menus. I feel like we're going to have better luck in the menus than if we're watching that Super Sim. That's just, I have a, I'm not going to say tinfoil hat theory. Let's at least explore it. So the next realistic rebuild, because I'm doing 2 this week, it should be out on Friday. Years 1 through 4, any playoff game, we're just going to go through like the advanced week. We're not doing the sim. I feel like the sim's broken. I feel like the sim is what the issue is. Because we simulate the games like the actual sim. As I go through the regular season, we're 12-5. It's fair. Like the games that I lose, those 5 losses, I'm an 89 overall. We're all teams that were like 84 minimum, 84, 85, 86. Tough games. You win the games you're supposed to win. I feel like in the Super Sim, it's just, again, it's whose line is it anyway? Everything's just made up, doesn't really matter. Browns won the Super Bowl, 38-31. Congrats to them. Let's see if any dev traits. I'm expecting Jeremy Chin for sure. That's really the only guy that I'm expecting to go up dev. I would be pleasantly surprised if we can get something else. On the offensive side, not seeing it. Defensively, I want to see a superstar for Chin, which I do. Congratulations. Gross Matos went up dev trait in season. So we have 2 new superstar players to help us get over the edge, plus a lot of salary cap as we head to year 5. In terms of salary cap, I mean, interior on the offensive line, we're letting Hernandez go. We could always look at an upgrade at center. I mean, technically, and I'm not going to do it unless there's a clear and obvious wide receiver. Could get another big-time playmaker at wide receiver if we can afford it. But again, it's realistic rebuild. I'm not trying to make it Super Bowl or bust like the regular rebuilds. This was an honest to God, like, the way to think about realistic rebuilds is like there's no end. We're not building this team with year 5 as the end goal. We're like, if this was an actual team, do you think that they would be signing another wide receiver? Probably not, especially because you have 2 first-rounders there plus DJ Moore. But if, you know, there's also this side of things where like this is a Super Bowl winning team. Do we get that one wide receiver that can help us short-term and still have all these other guys developmental long-term? So that's the balance I try to keep in these rebuilds. But either way, as we clean out our locker, close out this season, happy that we have a new superstar in Chin. And technically, I guess a new superstar going to year 5 in Gross Matos. For free agency, just going to improve the offensive line short-term. 2 one-year deals. Just to, put us, potentially over that little bit of a hump there. So I'm going to look at Joe Latonio. We'll switch him over to right guard. He's an 84 at 33. Last hurrah type deal. Same with Jensen. Center for Tom Brady in Tampa Bay most recently. Scheme fit 87. Even though we have Gibson, it's only a 1-year deal. Not so much long-term, just to help us get over that hump in year 5. Wow, maybe for better or for worse. Jensen declined, but Batonio, he was the guy we wanted the most. Did sign on. We'll slide him over to right guard, complete our offensive line. And for our final draft, kind of similar to the draft last year. I mean, at this point here, it was just shots in the dark. We got a 77 corner Walt Morgan normal dev. So like last year, we got a beastly wide receiver, but did not score a dev trait. This guy looks awesome out of Alabama. We did get a hidden dev player here in the 3rd round. Marcus Moon, the linebacker from Clemson. 70 hidden dev. Run stopper is a scheme fit. Not a bad pick at this point, just more so a special teamer, but not a bad draft. Starting to get a little bit in the rhythm, even with the lack of information that you get in Madden's new scouting system. I'm starting to be able to still pick out the best players, which is good because that makes the rebuilds better. So for year 5, don't need to dwell and do some super in-depth preview of the roster. It's exactly the same. I mean, Howell's up to a superstar, McCaffrey X Factor 99, DJ Moore 96. I would say, you know, you throw in Batonio on the offensive line, just well-rounded. That line's phenomenal. Falele has developed nicely into a franchise tackle. If I had to say disappointments, I would say Tremble not going up a dev, or in Marvin Mims being a pretty high pick. Those would be the disappointments on offense, and even then that's a stretch. You're finding things to be negative about. Defensively, just absolutely terrifying defense. When did he go up to an X Factor? Okay, he did. Good. 15 wins? 16 wins? Undefeated? At the end of year 5, we finally have our first round bye. 15-2 Falcons were very good as well. 13 wins for them in the year. We beat them both times we played them, which is good. Dallas is right there again, trying to make sure. Man, come on, Dallas is not that good. Let's grow up there just a little bit. One of our 2 losses actually was against the Jets, who were one of the worst teams. So it kind of goes against that whole, like, generally when you just sim it, the better team wins. Every now and again, there's an upset to be had. Have a couple upgrades here because we get to kick our feet up. It's pretty much a bye week. Moton, Batonio, that right-hand side of the offensive line getting a little bit of a boost. Let's see how we had and achieved our second loss, or second 2-loss season. That's a better way to phrase it. Looking at the big picture performers. Actually, we got Chris Barnes, middle linebacker, with 6 picks. Other than that, maybe this was just a team effort. Sam Howell, not dominant. It's not like we drafted a quarterback that became a perennial MVP candidate in that. 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 picks. McCaffrey, 1,800 yards, 21 touchdowns. He also got almost 700. He's amazing. He's a sim god. 10 touchdowns for Lance Knight, 7-2 for Tremble, 9-7 for Moore, almost 1,009 for Marvin Mims. So that's one thing you could say for sure. We never really had a dominant wide receiver 1 in this rebuild, even though the talent is there with DJ Moore, who is he? 99. You would expect still a little bit more, but I mean, the one thing you got to consider, though, with the Panthers in the sim is, like, you got to account for the McCaffrey factor. He's so much of this offense. There's only, so much that can go around, and I'm fine with McCaffrey kind of being the dominant guy there. Chris Barnes led our team, 107 tackles, 6 interceptions. Really good for middle linebacker. 12 sacks, Brian Birds, 10.5 Derek Brown, 8 for Gross Matos. Montez Sweat's been okay. I mean, I thought I was getting absolute steal when we signed him for $30 million, but I would like to see maybe a little more production of him. Jeremy Chin, 5 picks, 3 for Horn, 2 for Thompson, Jackson, and I mean, just again, back-to-back years, this secondary has been pretty much God tier. Yearly awards, MVP. I mean, Chris McCaffrey wins the MVP kind of a lot, and he's yet to win an MVP in this rebuild. How fitting. The one time we actually plays the Panthers, and McCaffrey's not technically MVP, even though he's our offense. 3rd place in the Offensive Player of the Year. Just seeing if we have any Carolina Panthers here for award winners. Unfortunately, we do not. That's fine. Got the team success, got the first round bye. I'd trade the first round bye for an MVP award at this point pretty much every day of the week. Let's go into the sim. It's a bye week, get some extra rest, and we are taking on right away. We get to figure out who the best team is in the NFC South. 13-4 Falcons, which we beat twice in the sim. 15-2 Panthers. You got Kyle Pitts there, over 1,000 yards for a tight end. He's utterly dominant, but we're winning the Super Bowl this year. Let's go, man. So I'm going to be playing the offense only for at least this game. We'll see if we need to go more than that. This is a first of I'm not trusting the rebuild, but I'm just going to try to be on the sticks offensively. I am better at defense, I would argue, than offense in this game, so hopefully not a lot of turnovers. Oh, yeah, picked up the blocks. McCaffrey got daylight in front of him. Of course. Oh, get in! Yes, he does. I was going to say, they got Caleb Farley, who's absolute burn, like 97 speed or something dumb like that. But McCaffrey takes it to the house, ties this one up. Defense, get me a stop. Of course not. They can't. Ah, fucking brutal, man. Nice. Moments too big for my team. Back-to-back holding penalties. 1st and 30. One of them days. One of them days you just regret turning on the old Xbox, huh? Go, baby. Big play. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I cannot run curl play similar. They're a pick 90% of the time. That's what the coach wanted, though. Like, that's the worst play in Madden. I need to see gameplay of people that can successfully play curl plays. It's just like they get eaten up every single time. And you're just asking for the guy to jump your route. Second and goal. Can we go to the 6'4" guy with like 90 speed? We can! Let's go pull one back before halftime. Okay, McCaffrey's winded. I don't like that, but he's really the offense right now. So, gonna need him to make some plays. Oh, they're going high. Bach 58, and it just keeps going. Let's get Gay Griffin. We drafted this guy for a reason. Give McCaffrey a breather. Don't fumble the ball. Move the chains when you're asked to. Maybe get a touchdown if you can. The go-ahead for the second-year player out of Penn State. That's all I remember about him, honestly. I don't remember his name. Remember he came out of Penn State because of the great P.L. Mullins. Came out of Penn State. Defense gets a stop. Hell yeah. Let's go CMC. Oh, he gets the blocks. That's what we needed. It's what we needed. Chrisitan McCaffrey. I think I pushed him over 200 yards rushing. He's unstoppable. This is what would have happened. We would have made a Panthers franchise. I'd just do this every time, and I would never change, ever. We stopped him. Thank you. We're going to the AFC Championship game. C.J. Stroud, the man pulling. I mean, you just couldn't stop McCaffrey. 247. Let's go. We got to ride him to the Super Bowl. There's a murderer's row of opponents. You play the 13-win Falcons. Now we got the 14-win Cowboys. Super Bowl on the line. Not worried. All right, here's hoping this game gets out of hand. And, you know what? I'm going to give my offense the first chance here. Though me taking over. They're getting the first chance to do nothing. But we get a turnover. That's good. Ooh, there we go on Diggs. Ball hawk. That's not even Diggs. My bad. It's DJ Moore, though, for sure. 17 yards up to the 6. Coverage, I mean, could have been, like, there was nothing there. Unless we, like, kept it with the quarterback, maybe. So, we'll take the points. Dallas goes down the field, scores a touchdown. Takes up pretty much the whole quarter. Get off me. Let's go. Let's go, Knight. 2 stiff arms, baby. Beastquake run right there. Just need the touchdown. Okay, a couple McCaffrey runs. Actually, you know what? I'm going to audible to a run here. I think we can get this. I think we can get this. We absolutely can get it. Touchdown. Lead is back with the Panthers. Defense gets a stop. Beautiful. Let's see. Can my offense do something here? Get a field goal. That's not bad. Can we close it? Let's go to halftime. Let them do the damn thing in a half. Now we'll come back on because they're not doing anything. All right, man. I need my wide. Like in any video I do, franchise or not, my wide receiver ones never do anything. So I'd like. It's another thing. That's just me not being good at Madden, or does everyone else struggle to use their wide receiver ones? Like I feel like they're decoys more often than not. Oh, we got him. We got him to bite on the draw. And he fights his way in. Second touchdown of the game for McCaffrey. And the Cowboys defense doesn't really have an answer for us right now, but offensively, they're staying in the game. She blocks a 99. Perfect at everything. Diggs, he can't intercept this one. Boy, hat trick. Chrisitan McCaffrey. Oh, to close this one out. Kick our feet out. We can. Not Dallas's year. Thank God. 40-21. The Panthers are your NFC champs, and they're going to the Super Bowl on the back of the controller disconnected. I knew he was going to die, but almost 200 yards from Chrisitan McCaffrey. Super Bowl has been set. 15-2 Panthers, 14-3 Ravens. What do the Ravens look like? Let's get a sniff of their roster. You got Lamar Jackson, who's amazing, for sure. For sure. What else we got? We got Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, 96. Okay, that's a problem. Gallup, Deontay Harris, Chris Cobb, Corn Cob TV. Call your local cable provider right there. So they're not much at wide receiver. They got Mark Andrews and Baby Gronk at tight end. Stanley, 95. Okay, their O-line's a weak spot there. Hutchinson, first round pick. Matabuke, solid. Patrick Queen's doing the thing, always still unstoppable. Secondary, you got Marlon Humphrey, Deshaun Elliott's in the 90s. They're a good team, but they're not as complete of a team as us. Should be a confident win. Alrighty. Let's see a little intro. This is weird for me for editing and stuff like that for a rebuild. I hope you guys are liking this approach though. Just the fed up with the Madden sim approach. Can't just like constantly have fun teams that should win. For people that like to see happy endings in rebuilds, just be constantly shafted by the sim. And this is kind of what you have to do at this point. We'll give Howell the first drive here. Doesn't do much. We'll give him the second drive on. So they get the touchdown. Beautiful. Another offensive drive. They stall out. Baltimore goes down the field, scores a touchdown. We will come in with 4:30 to go in the second quarter. There we go. Get your blocks. At this point, it's just got Marvin McCaffrey. He actually only had 4 yards before this drive. But we're able to punch that one in. 46-yard touchdown. The best player in the NFL. Proving it. Even though he doesn't have the MVPs to back it up, he is. Defense. Ooh, okay, Baltimore scores. Still $1.26 for us to get back on the board, get a lead into half. We've played 3 games, and I haven't thrown it to any of my wide receivers. There's just no confidence. I have no confidence in my passing on any difficulty here in Madden. To throw it, not to the middle of the field. I throw it the outside, it's a pick. I've been burned so many times. I don't think I've seen anybody that's not like a pro hit a deep pass in Madden. Like there's an audacious throw, and there's nothing there. And I'm putting it to the Ravens. They score a field goal. Okay. Okay, we got DJ Moore, and we had to wait too long for him to get open. Yeah, I'm over it. We're gonna run. We're gonna throw it to our third wide receiver, Knight, because he's the only guy that can get open, and we're gonna run the ball. Second 18, we're gonna drop back. Get a kind of good pocket. Ooh, actually, I take that back, and we almost got baited into a pick. And they hit DJ Moore. Finally. Almost took 75% of the game, but we did it. Who knows? We'll try it. Oh, he falls in 2 minutes. Oh, I have no faith. All right, let's win it. Great start. Great start, man. Fuck, like literally, I have one element of fucking sim in this, and it's what's gonna fuck me over. Come on! Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Timeout. It's just one of them days, man. That, you know, sometimes Madden just... I said it earlier. Yeah, he probably should have turned the Xbox on today. But... got a chance. It's not over. Someone just needs to get open here. What was that for? Can I get a replay of that? Like, that's just... Can I get a replay of that, please? I need a replay of that, because at this point, all you can do is just laugh at it. At this point, let's see what we got here. So... Hey guys, thanks for watching almost an hour of me making a super team, and there you go. That's what we're dealing with. Also, not one of my guys has got open on this. Like, you know, got a lot of speed here for someone to get open. I had to re-record the too much swearing in the actual outro. I don't want my video getting demonetized. Again, I think the only... Like, the fact that the only thing that kind of cost me in this game for sure was the little bit of sim that I included, which was letting the defense do their thing. You know, there's so much to process for how to present these rebuilds. I personally, for me, I wouldn't enjoy it as much if I played, like, for this run here, played offense and defense through all this playoff run, because it doesn't really feel like I'm, you know, I don't know, it feels weird. It doesn't really feel like you're winning. Like, I'm forcing the win almost to a certain degree, but then the same, I'm not the best at Madden, and there is going to be an added challenge. If I played defense, it'd be different. If I was playing defense and the Ravens still went on to win, and then you just had the nonsense with, like, that, the Hail Mary throw that just didn't make, like, I feel like to end this one, to not end up just ranting about the state of this godforsaken game, You don't win every Super Bowl. Would it be fun if I won every Super Bowl? Probably not. And we won a Super Bowl in the last rebuild. So we would have been lucky winning 2 straight Super Bowls. I think I'm just so pissed because this team was probably my favorite group of players in a rebuild yet. And how the sim rebuilds or the sim playoffs went the previous 2 years. It's really frustrating. I think at the end of the day, this was a game. The writing was on the wall very early in this rebuild that I probably shouldn't have turned the Xbox on today. It was not going to be a good game of Madden. And this rebuild was very tough, very shenanigan-y, but you don't win every Super Bowl. I'm not gonna win a Super Bowl every rebuild. It would be unrealistic to win a Super Bowl every rebuild, and this is a realistic rebuild. So, versus me going on a rant, become super negative. You guys saw the videos, you saw the gameplay, you saw the results. You guys can come to that conclusion. You don't need me losing my mind, explaining to you what you just saw, what you just processed. Hell of a job, Lamar Jackson. Our defense that we built couldn't stop him. Congrats on the Super Bowl. We will be back tomorrow with a new Philadelphia Eagles franchise. And then on Friday, we're going to have a second realistic rebuild dropping this week. I'll tell you right now, it's either going to be the Dolphins, Jags, or Texans. Don't know right now, top of my head, which I'm thinking maybe Miami. Get Miami and Carolina out the way because those are the 2 teams that are linked with a certain quarterback that you might not want to just utilize right now. But I don't know. It might not be the Dolphins. I'll just see how I feel. But thank you guys very much. All the support of the channel. Like, the channel is doing the best it's done at any point in Madden right now. So even when you get, a little bit of a shit sandwich here from Madden, I'm going to go probably record the next realistic rebuild. I'm not hating it because you guys are giving me enough juice from the likes, from the comments, from the brand new subscribers checking out the channel. And I think it does come down to the likes. Likes getting more exposure to the channel. So you guys there for sticking with me, for supporting me. Thank you very, very much. I'll see you guys back on the next one. Thanks for watching. Check out Bounty Sports. Peace out.